Whatever he does guided by such a spirit is in accordance with the will of heaven, and attracts good fortune. A man's nature becomes so darkened by self-interest and his baser motives, he is unable to hear the pure voice within. His mind becomes so corrupted that he cannot distinguish between good and evil.
I exchange my teeth for fangs. I cry solidified triplet flames. Straight basket case, ain't no peace in my DNA. It don't matter, done is wartime anyway. There's no going back. It's kill or be killed today. Where I've fallen from, I'll never return. Got me looking for heaven on earth, bitch. What's the word? Got a mark on my neck from a curse before you murk. Take a last look at the illest on earth, for real. Mike Morning Stars, I'm ready to kill. Blue lanterns in this bitch, leaving blood on the field. Known to execute quick, there ain't nothing they feel. But they ain't exactly dead, more like their souls have been sealed.
An all-encompassing illusion of a slumbering elder god. His dimensions diffuse as it awakens to conjure eschaton dwindling. He's a synesthete for imagery to elicit a flame. For those akin to me have tendencies to spirit away. So we find solace in the knowledge that his mist will decay. For his hatred for this plane dwells in infinite space. Event horizon drift, pulled by his eyes abyss, whose tide is climbed by the strides of his walking sticks assist. Comments drip as the skies are wither. A vibrant shimmer collides with a hive of silent embers. Cocytus winters, imbibing the light and erudite delivers. Misaligned from the sights of necrotic eyes under sublime umbrellas. I am what his echo invokes, a silent minstrel as his sound ripples through holes of clouds, nebulous smoke. He often abounds the shrouds that distance provokes. A visage foul disfigured as a falcon peels in its after images stroke. A proud chimera of a vow drowned in colliginous glows. Descendants perimeter choked by the bow of his pinions dome. As a frigid rogue dominion strolls, slithers with an ophidious flow. Augma infinium thoughts of trigonal eclipses evoke. As a subliminal triptych unfolds, a sigil of Lilith blips in the dim fringes of her flitterous soul.
Kicking down heaven's gates, a 5-course meal over 11 plates. Never safe, perpetual servitude like a peasant's fate. How's a pheasant taste? Trust me, look zoom, the dooms of the moon till it's permanently left in a crescent shape. Close my eyes in hell and wake to a pleasant place, lessons trace. Travel light speed, the future return to our present state. All up in the cut like a stretching cake, testing bait on this present date. One open impact if any of these impressions make.
Supreme being, Grim Reaper, nice to meet you, odds and evens, gods and demons, civilized and heathens. I'm a fire-breathing behemoth, keep the beneath your feet heated. Underground savage like sound wave, release rabbits heater. Stay blaming, temper ref crammed it to the moon. Alice sipped the proof from the chalice, the proof that I caused damage. Check my footsteps in the canvas, bastard. It's like consecutive planes crashing. Yay, brain damage, leave your frame smashed in. Blue flame faction, who fucking with the lanterns? Dirty lab in the cabins, gritty drum, loop patterns, smoky cabbage. I hear you babbling while you capping. Tell stay rattling, chop they motherfucking head off, twist the cap off, pass the smearing off, all black and mask on like the Phantom of the Opera. Circumstances gave me no option. Learn to lace niggas proper, duck the coppers, go home and get top, son. Test the scientists, I ain't the one. Like a windmill, hit 'em with mad uppercuts. These lanes, you mad at they sluts for giving up the butt. It didn't take much, just some Henny in a blunt. I done had plenty and not much, gift the gab is a must. I promise I can get you touched by one of these zombies on the corner. Fuck nigga in a bump they trust. Roll up, flick the big on the dust. Serotonin explosions erupt. Puff after puff, hot damn nigga, I think I've had enough. I'm over here feeling slumped, what the fuck? I'm trying to keep my sanity, whatever's left. Step get X'd out like the letter X, that ain't right, you left.
Where I've fallen from, I'll never return. Got me looking for heaven on earth. Where I've got me looking heaven, never return. Heaven down heaven's gates, 5-course meal over 11 plates.
When man's nature is overridden by his desires and his inner spirit is stifled by ambition, he destroys the natural purity of his humanity and becomes capable of all kinds of evil. And when he finally manages to completely quell the shared voice of innocence, he becomes totally corrupted, for his mind can devise all kinds of justifications for his own self-centered ways. But if he retains his innocence and keeps his spirit pure, it will guide him in all his actions. He will experience the certainty of one.
Take over my body and soul, strip of the fold of my raft and melt flesh into gold. The spirit of a killer.
Hey yo. Kami candelabrum bearers out of ambient stairs flashing forward. Shinigami owl glare, a foul's air with an azure aura. I has a manic orbit, so I planet warp with mad distortion, but lanterns form, so I crash back as flowers orchid, a black cat with a raddest fortune. A stranded orphan imagines forest through attic floors and manifests as flora. This labyrinth door is cracked, but I smell the acid bats as I'm walking towards it. I'm half a man to core in silence waters. Psilocybin hacks on my psychomotors, cryolapse in a more vibrant trance than temporal order. An amorphous feral swordsman of quiet wars. When the night is dawn, I spawn the eruditic warriors and collapse into molecular iota reconfiguration of subatomic space to shimmer off a microphasic data matrix. I collide with noospheric stratus with Potara jewels amalgamations, like 10,000 multiplicated fire blazing kaiokenning super saiyans. The ruminations of my umbra focus and all-encompass obscuring smoke of moonless gloom that's omnipotent. My rainbows votive, they chromis, a temporal spatial glow where my halo's broken. Arrays of a sable snow-laden eroded ocean where the rain is a decaying cloak. The raging souls of demon sultans, a fading ghost of wraith, the gnostic sage with the hue of a broom of mist. A symbiotic flame with Jagans awake the arm of a draconic mutagen. I'm neither me nor him, I'm alone with DIDs and ruminants. A stranded, silent, shallow, nameless, sleeping stray. My whole life's a fucking pseudonym.
Yo, kaleidoscope, rifle shot, the sniper off the ceiling fan. Reeling fast like sword fishing in a sea of crabs. On the bucket list, construction bridge of reconciliation. A crowd of zombies gather, look for new affiliations in theogenic plant medicine. Enhance the brethren. In the real world, they don't die, they live for vengeance. Red Dead Redemption, my hometown spaghetti western. Got a fistful of dollars for hot terpenes and full spectrum extracts. Go get that, beeswax for chief math. Low temp dabs off the heat, lamping like Green Lantern. Shoot 6 like a handgun, the earth's lost without sun. When the sample's dope, I'd smoke and flip it without drums. Some slept like Elm Street, cause hell's deepest. In the unnamed abyss, Atlantis withdraws all of its secrets. The deepest puddle leads to infinite form and fractals. The lotus grows in a pond, surrounded by glowing lanterns. Growing handguns for forearms, Megatron skill. I ride a light cycle backwards off the grid while gods build. I draw still life in still water, breeding more reptiles. A bunch of woke rappers sleepwalking with dead styles.
Heard the wind chimes in the background, yeah, swarmed by floating lanterns. Every day I die in Pleasantville, then wake up in my covers. The sun went down in a second, it was gone as far as I know. Everything done changed that day, I saw the clouds turn to a rhino. Fuck rapping through the wire, straight on some whole other shit. Straight basket case, speaking to an unplugged TV set. In the shit, it got me dumb, I play with bones in a pile. All alone at home, I heard a drone from the skipping final. There's a war outside, now everybody's watching you now. It's a nightmare at the opera, there's a demon in the crowd. I was wandering the map and saw something up ahead. People running for their lives and the sky was turning red. The suspenseful camera angle while looking underneath the bed. Swore I saw something there, guess it was all in my head.
Step let out a formless dove. They say the devil came from that and it's a source of love. That's a long sword, does it cut? Yes it does. Headless thugs remembering what it was. Dead stuck in a heaven where the dead man hung. The dead man hung.
Synthetic REM hypnosis as Khemist dosed another potion. My vision's folded, close your eyes and see my image strobing. Flickered smolders glint as the tints aglow. A photic, a sigil ghost risen in the sibilance of a whispered opus. Tinged in smoke winds of a visage soulless. I comb through the shifts of snows and blizzards of winter's locusts. He shifted dormant till a sword rifts a misses forest. A gibbous orphan eclipsed by the tinge of the crimson wind Sephora's.
Fine born, vibranium worn, packed daggers that spat at him ever since engaged in this war. The Black Panther, melanin obsidian, split meridians, leaving intestines hanging. And fear instilled in them acute senses. I smell pussy and it's that time of the month. Menstrual rivers flow like the Mississippi track, clans down already providing the sheets. The spirit of Huey P. Newton reside in me. Study physics at the highest degree, so when I make knowledge born, I'm providing the key to existence. So truly living means rhyme with me. They crown me, so ain't no higher than me. The Black King, Jesse Owens flowing. Bars run them down like track teams with spike cleats. I lace tracks like I sprinkle them with crack, hold it down for team modes like Fort Knox does for gold. Rush and get touched, crush, roll like Dutch. In the Jeep, spirit of Huey P. Newton reside in me. Me study physics at the highest degree, so when I'm born,
a wolf with cloven hooves, horses run, a certain step let out a formless dove. They say the devil came from that and it's a source of love. That's a long sword, does it cut? Yes it does. Headless thugs remembering what it was that snuck into heaven where the dead men hung.
Yo, my lords are draconian, waging wars on the Babylonians. Loathing is so potent, I'm overflowing in dopamine. Known as the Ronin Roman, at any moment I'm closing and holding a sacred stone in my clothing coated in rhodium. Tiptoeing through snow with the tranquilest motions, taking mental notes of the folks of awoken souls that are hopeless. My motives atrocious, with a focus like microscopes. A henchman who wrote it and cloaked the wooden foes to the Trojan. Who wrote this is a prolific poet on the Dead Sea Scrolls, creeping mystique mode. Defeat me, I be the cheat code. The beast is intrigued by Callisto, speaking the sweet tone, fiending to eat so, then he'll know that's what my teeth show. Frequencies of these weak MCs low and off kilter. Small forces cause they've been altered and all filtered. God is the landlord, the room and board you call realtor. When headless thugs are hung, it's your fault and the cards dealt.
A wolf with cloven hooves, horses run, a certain step let out a formless dove. They say the devil came from that and it's a source of love. That's a long sword, does it cut? Yes it does. Headless thugs remembering what it was that snuck into heaven where the dead men hung. The dead men hung.
So when you see that things, the physical world and consciousness are inseparable, it isn't that the physical world is reflected in a mirror, but that it and consciousness are all one.
I make moves like Hell's Castle, chopping a sample, produce bangers and dab rig, flowers extracted. I write the Lotus manual, annual, still building, smoke billowing, filling rooms to the ceiling again. 100-foot healing, feeling the music underroof, a sunderproof. No master high growth from dirty route, not concerned with eternal youth work through old aging. Meditate for years on a wall inside of a beaten. Home base and cold case and digging up old files around the room pacing. Step sequence and more style, folders on desktop, next drop, face mirage again. Goes to the Kamagawa River, surf guardian. Explode hearts again like every time before this. Ice cream koan killing, Kowloon River apocalypse, Optimus Prime blunt wrap. The white rhinoceros transforms cigars to art. Smoke Picasso splits.
Count your losses, the data is processed like a sausage. Overbaked my core is fully encased like corsets. Subtle like fox prints. My bosses always verify the sources. Additional credits from extracurricular courses. Tugging your brain out the box with a fresh pair of forceps. More dips and more sets. I'm greedy for the bleedies but stay fresh like courgettes. Hand wash Porsches, life's monstrous. Can't talk and be honest, not to be morbid, but I feel like I'm dying and I can't afford rent. So what's next? Try to stay on topic. Shuffle up the Rosses, bombs that detonation patterns form in the shape of crosses.
Nobody bleeds, almost Jesus to a T. See my face through the window, clench can I in my teeth. Text appear on the page like Tom Riddle is my name. Rather close to the sun, but he knows to pump the brakes just enough to keep him out floating somewhere lost in space. With his propeller cap and elbow pad, shoes double lace. I left the house today, motherfucker smiling, waving while they standing still. Now shit black and white, there's a nightmare in Pleasantville. Wolf hit my clones and turn to smoke and stuff a clean cut. Spilling guts like an open Dutch. Ask they gon' tell you that he do too much. Little Brady bunch tight with lips wrapped around a blunt. straight Louis, bitch, I do my own stunts. Post some pics while I'm dripping on my nuts. Late night when the moon fully's on the hunt. Locked up in my lair with the blinds shut. It's like the fourth kind of. These cats front stage with the lights on. Barely got mics on. Louis taking over like Viacom. Demons want me, I said fuck that shit, this martial law. They get trapped inside a bedroom with closing walls.
The walls are closing off a purgatory of intrinsic loops. Darkness crawls along the farthest blips of a gibbous moon. Martian ship embarked when I harvest stems from a hidden root. Ballistic guard is my whole squad amidst a tinge of a dimmish blue. My shadow-ridden gloom, a haunting glimpse of exotic matter. Swimming pools, hypnagogic laughter. Penumbral auras, black and vivid hues. Hypercloud anomaly, the singularity in eidolons. My ciphers bound in odysseys of the cosmic origin and spiral arms. My silent bond catches dreams within tangles of sanguine ink. My tesseracted mass distinct from the masses of afflicted sleep. My wrath is steeped in Magellan castles of Lemmerton's magic box. A massive fleet of war measured through a stellar parallax of stars. I've traveled far from a sea of swords to the walks of Nod. From a void to the 15 dots of the halls of Omicron. Word is bond, the suffusion of an art infused upon the musings of this broom, igniting fossil fuels in this rocket ship's fuselage. Warp the vorpal grave of ominous doors from shards that are torn from a larger conglomerate sword. A polymered source where wanderers shore the tarnished and scorned cold harbors, the somber souls from the squalors of war. In an inverted space of corners dimly facing the visage of grisly shapes that caterwauls a dead cadence. My liminal spaceship's radiance scintillates in temporaneous phasics. In a photic maze, abyssal pelagic rates, ghosts decay, a zone of amorphous inchoated shapes that glow then metamorph away in REM cloacas collated. Vacuous, he sits seemingly idle. His mind is dreaming, it increasingly spirals to a palingenetic violescent previous vital. The accretion of horizons and crescents and cycles. With the pallid skin of a drow, he's also ashen within his lambents, akin to a glow that flashes with a dim cast. That labyrinths are tinged in the snow, phantasms adrift. I phantom the rift that fashions a bridge through a hole where all matter is bent, achromatic in tin, but all that is begin as monadic blips in a hole. The fractals eclipsed by panoramas of astral thalassic trips of a soul. A gassed time collapse in the miasmic grip of what I imagine. Vantage from an azure chasm, my eyes glint to cipher worlds that I behold.
Fuck gin and juice, straight cabooded at the Sable'd. My head to the beat too much, I've been hearing loose screws again. They know the kid, it'd be too late before they find out. Straight Lewis reading scrolls inside Orochimaru's hideout. Something in the kitchen, sounds of dishes and stuff moving around. Inside the joint living room, they lifted me up off the couch. Person I could feel. I asked a couple questions, but it only became scary when I asked if it's real. I made mistakes I could never fix. My blood drips down an invisible crucifix. Staircase that's limitless. So I go straight stuck in the alphabet block zone, staring at this shit like what the fuck went up my nose. Open up the bottle, pop 3. I'm going to sleep early like it's Christmas. Straight basket case stuck in a screen. Today I'm on some lighter steez. Took enough just for the walls to breathe. Snow broke off, I woke up from a dream.
His brain was infected by devils. Maybe that was the problem.
Peace and progress. Although times are favorable, it is still necessary to work diligently in order to take advantage of the favorable times.
because they will not continue indefinitely.
Yeah.
Right now is the opportune time.
I get chills from cold drips that still trickle from my sickles. Why do I find myself in a pickle? My mind's fickle, type high, I'm quite fried. Right beside us, the 9 nickel, slight giggle. Nice try like the 5 for my pistol. It whistles like frigid winds in the night. Below the frozen clouds, frozen closure, prone to the exposure as it blows around. Spoken about emotions, broken found like how the snow on ground. I'm woken and I own what you stolen, so I'm the chosen now. I don't condone a vulnerable moment they took advantage of. Damn it, cause I stand on the planet I want to vanish from. Hammer drugs, stuck in the madness, that's where it landed us. Now I'm fucked up in the attic from what the damage does. Last of the Mohegans bring heat in the winter session. Sling a weapon at the threat of deception to send a message. Think I'm stressing, please don't give them depression and indiscretion. King's speech is testament for the better. I'm
Listen as the night yawns with a dead cadence. The silence of hatred arises. Light thaws as the progenitus wakens. His eminence flames from a sedative stasis. A draconic race devolve upon his right appendages races. A wave of darkness unflawed as a sable maw blazes. From the gaze of his dragon, the grace of a god estranged. His halo spawns darkness swathed in the archer of angels. Drawn in and cradled into the arms of martyrs and vagrants. Mind stars are born into the solstice of an armiger's phases. A reticent play calmly fetters his nations. An element stained from an orange hemorrhage agent. It boards and skates forth his aura torn away with the force how our cosmic holes behave off in the forming space. An anomalous orphan augments and wanes flourishes dominant as an orchid blossoms reforming a floral arboreal grave. As a force of sword arrays, a storming coates to be absorbed and reborn again.
The decision-age time of expansion holds promise of blossoming into a period of greatness in which a superior man works closely with others and is able to lead them into a time of joy.
I reawake to a dream state like a scene change. It feels completely real, but it seems fake. Surrounded by cheapskates and the endless images of friendless idiots. My daily reflections bend until the mirror splits. Down a hall of flames, appalled and shamed. I heard a voice call my name, a name I never thought I'd be called again. I discard this ball and chain, merely feel the weight pass. A fall from grace, rematerialized on a spacecraft. Amongst androgynous aliens, astronomers tailing us from switching shape fast. Physically and spiritually we create mass. They show my history hid behind my back in front of my dead fam. I begin to pray to God with both of my red hands. We stood still between the crevices of time, analyzing record of the messages in my mind from my birth into the passage into dying. They served ET, we burned some weed and turned the key. Sat back and claimed my life for all the rest of eternity.
The max of life is getting ready to spring forth anew after a period of rest. By letting things happen naturally, one avoids overextending the energies that are available. By proceeding with such care, the new beginning can develop into something wholesome
Remember sleep, does this even exist? All alone at the crib, I seen some silhouette kids. I dream about a world where I'm rich. Roll up an eighth in my apartment and burn my face with a spliff. Straight basket case, you know my name. Walk around with solar flames. Can't even be mad, I deserve the pain. Is this what it's coming to? I'm a motherfucking pop balloon since that sugar cube put me. Do you remember when?
Oh, I feel you, man. Hey yo, my problem with this can't stop from dropping in the bottomless pit. As if it's impossible stopping this shit. Gotta admit the image is sick that I dreamt. They're no different with vigilant. Convinced that if I sense the limit and slip, to get a grip, I'm spent. But never been capitulant with a white flag. Type to fight for my life, it won't suffice with a price tag. It's quite bad, turn my back, I might catch a knife stab. I pray and aim to stay on the right path.
Do you remember?
Most death I recollect in retrospect what transpired. It was written, that's correct to the death, I'ma stand by it. But my mind's playing tricks on me, yeah, it's a damn lie. It got me so mad and I'm tired. Like why did it happen? It's something fucking with us. And so what's the meaning? Being like I had enough and it's tough, but just trust the reason true and deep because you're seeing it. Ain't always believing you demons, your time is up, it's hunting season.
Do you remember once the mirror danced for you?
A sonic sonic, sonorous avatar kabooms through the vacuum of Lotus. With a seraphic glow, Aladdin's flows erratic as his vast annex is unfolding. Where the natures are black and fades, engraved in the agrarian space between the attics of planes. That synapses between planets roaming as a forward flashing temporal crash. Microphasic lattice of Mandelbrot's is conforming. An azure dusk unmasks from the auroral orbit of entropy. A wakazashi slash, a vibrant splash of magic as an imploding fabric is eroding. A closing casket of draconic ash explodes as the ghost of his animus is strobing. Back and forth like a palindrome that's coursing as the shadows entrances enchanted paths of Yomi. Dancing slowly, gas and Onis clash into 1,000 paper fans exploding. Laughing, a Bodhi stabs his foe with a flowing staff of black and glows as his opponent's asked and thrown by an axiom's globe as the fabrics of space-time axis is folding.
Do you remember when
Stray
the mirror dance for you?
I don't recall, I was up my mind but not remote at all. Walked in an open brawl, rocking a hockey mask and overalls. Just something my mind made up like voter fraud. High as fuck, composer's ball, stuck on the couch, can only hope to crawl. Still I drove to the mall, just hit the opal wall. Parked on the curb, breaking zoning laws and other protocols. Vivid colors, 3D pans forming an oval shawl. Visualizing a dynamic coat of arms, was blind drunk when I wrote the poem. 3 days with cheap skates, tumbling downhill as I rode to prom. Just a mushroom head, tripping over swollen balls. Show nothing but love like how Lenny always spoke to Carl. But as if they were at an open bar, I can honestly say that I'm a total fraud. Life's a game you can only hope to mod. Ripe avocados, extra virgin olive oil, fresh and cracked pepper and coarse kosher salt. A golden teacher cerebrally broke the vault, trying to get sober. God who wrote the Psalms maybe don't deserve the things that I was owed at all.
Do you remember when the mirror danced for you?
It's all right. 1,000 guns takes a while to check out. It seems there may be something wrong.
Faint squalls of dawn breaking as the graveyard's rates wanders. A stray lost traipsing into our lake's jaws. The valence of bonds breaking, deformation wrought decaying. The sable of a grace gone, embraced by cradles of estranged gods. A forsaken innate calm. The fettered chains of quasi-planers and umbral leather chrononymic hazes. Photosynthetic soulless solar embers so tethered riddled gazes. As an interchrome temporal spatial, the dim obliminal spaces and hidden thrones of mist awakens. In the feathered blimps of glyphs that glow in the glisten nodes, a rift unfolds that mimic precipitation. Cinder groves amidst the everglow of hyperagonal shifting moons. Vessel cloaks of fodder caught in a tide of dream residues. My thoughts are steeped amongst the farthest peaks of sleep's vestibules. Streaks of ferrous hues ignited as the sky of vermilion fires. Brilliant eyes with the sight of a million eyes. As cerulean gyres hypnotized with a Sigic's limbic mind. When infinite labyrinth and crimson cirrus appendages apparitionized into bridges ecliptic him with a quiet opus. Descends the visage of an unpigmented spiraling lotus.
Yo, high on the shoulders of giants. One stone killed the Goliath. Open his mind up, grind his bones to a fine dust. I smoke trees that look like blossoming lilac. Spread knowledge, my seeds sown in to needle stylus. Analog catalog, a man of art and seclusion. His work moves slow like winter cold and moose jaw. 2 stars plucked out the sky, line to guide the strays. When held in the palm, they would glow and light the way. Divide the day with darkness. A 5-point palm is heartless. Tom Hardy boys talk with venom, seek out the carnage. The symbiote relentless, dark side is embedded. Strike you down with force lightning, Asajj Ventress. Beyond the center of 1,000 flowers bloom forever. Brutal weather could not stop the growth he undertook. Lysergic lessons let him stand 100 foot. And here's another look at temples left in blood and soot.
We scatter the ashes, gathered from caskets, amassed in a random fashion before we fled to Damascus. But it's all ancient history now, like the feathered Jurassics. Chart the ocean, the higher the sails, the better the mast is. Settle for a micro blend of leather and plastics. I forgot if it's past tense, but I felt clever in my sadness. Staggering vastness, jar antimatter in batches. Cut the chatter and stay passive to come for the head of a fascist. My eyes bloodshot like Aldebaran, cut out the middleman. There was never a bigger bang, only plasmatic filament. Where the asthmatic killer went, huh? You think he would kill again? Stay diligent. Oh, what a predicament. That's drastic. A peace-loving species got militant. There's nothing realer than the mathematical equivalent. I'm just an international immigrant, a man of the world, a global citizen. But no man is an island, just ask a man at Gilligan. It was while I watched the rain falling that I found my strange calling. Never since then, the thoughts that just came crawling. So I remain scrolling. The nights fly by, the days stalling. The pain is calling, but I'm proud of my state.
Get a glimpse of this ninja in the shadows. I put your card as simply as quick as a cryptic gypsy that flips the tarots. Exists with pharaohs, but a demon stripped from the gallows. Those sad tones, phantom of the opera on the pianos. I'm a student that fought and was taught the exploding heart. The technique of the jabs that go into 5 of the pressure points. And after it's thrown, my foes can walk. It's known for sure the cardiac organs on their 5th step and close they gone. The end of their life when pomade strikes. Better pray when I slay mics, wait nights, and then lay in the grave sites. The paid price. Heard them say never play with the gray whites. My tongue lacerates snakes like a katana blade slice. With slang that's vernacular, intergalactically spectacular. Actual fact is that I was legend before the Acura. This is only one of the many facets of my character. A massacre, assassinate bastards, and then I laugh at you.
The fingers of death appears the walls when slightly released. Imagine we're pressed against the soft limbs of a human being. You see dragons flipping G-Wagons on routine practice. Communication with animals in the forest with unintelligible speech passions. Wolverine habits, metallic protrusion and fist bleeds blackness. And clots instantly as the cool breeze passes. Stand up a shadow when I walk by in the afternoon. You see lanterns lit, landing on the top leaf of the giant tree. But acrobatic flip spices will kiss. I like to live you in the fight with a swift sweep. Thunderous is flying the hitch, your spine in the twist. Electrocuting your sexual nervous system, disturb your rhythm. Then I come back to your erected arm like circumcision. Burn ambitions are the worst decision you ever made. Challenging the wordsmith gifted in a world where Christmas is celebrated and the battlefield's hot and scorching. Iron muscles, the scallop of ram, stallion, horsepower and eagles on earthly vision. Brutal attacks, flaunt the sinister techniques, but I don't murder victims. I leave them to tell the tale to give you person living. The roundhouse is carcinogenic if you give you terminal illness. Meditating on locus, observing in stillness. Eternal brilliance, knowledge of yin and yang. Merged in lyrics with poetic offerings, words acidic. The burn to critics, donations of rubber weapons in rotation. It was your turn to get it. Tiger pose stands as my hands take a firm position. Strike you with the 5-point palm.
There's only one way I'll see this settled. By the rules of fate.
It seems a childish way to decide so great an issue. But I suppose it's fair enough.
What do you have, brother?
Heads.
Too bad, brother.
SG.
Seems that the fates are on my side in this.
A viper's mask sliced through grass, tipping the scales white as ash, moving through the tightest gaps. No matter, I'll find the path. I'm inside my stash, but we all know life's a task. Tracking position with the slightest grasp. Well-fed owls waiting for the night to pass. Crushing on fiberglass, up in the clouds, doling up cyber cash. Trying to dash, double tap forward, hit you with the hyper slash. Swipe and drag, weaving impenetrable materials from a spider's ass. I'm just ripping you, sapo venom. I grab my sides and laugh. That's a cutthroat notion. I struck those posing, as Ludlow's closing. Was off with the red of the blue pill. One or the other, but both was chosen. Drink the brine the sun choke soaked in. Waving the low fees from the nosebleeds, because that's what the front row owed them. Disorientated as the gun smoke closed in, trying to clog a hole in some boat frozen. Snap both wings in a slow wind as the cup hole's broken. But before I breach the flesh, I breathe a breath and reach and stretch for stars drowning in the deepest depths of an unknown ocean.
An immortal rose, cadaverous shelved in the palm of a cosmonaut. Achromatic ghost adrift in the shell of a mortal lock. He's tormented morose by the bounding sonancy of pounding wings. Far above the hyper clouds, oscillations of draconic sounds distinct. A brief eternity synced in the zodiac of famished stars. Stranded hourglasses looped in the dances of a pedantic march. Blue basket cases, casket of elaborate graves beyond. Ashen faces of a pack of rabid raven feral crazy daemon mobs. The spectral space in the sheen of stars, sheathed in darkest pallid beacons. A labyrinth dream of hypnagogues streams across the astral seasons. In canopic beams he leaps through fog. His spaceship shifted like the covalent visions of legion's arms. Springs a matrix of heathen misfits, vagrants and demon drifters from Celiphace's dreamless instance. The wraith within him skates gravely at his fate's perdition. The grace of his angel's gifts fades away in a sabled prison. The sophistication of his hatred's risen. Blinded like a tide of Nern defiant spirals from an eye of blurs. A fire bursting silent elegiac birds. Its iris curse inside the quiet purrs of minds disturbed like psilocybin's mirth. The violet stirs an injured child. A gyre collides persistent with bolts of iron words. verse from the confines of clandestinity. An apocryphal hall obscured in blurs gets outlined so vividly as the faults of all polymers are falling into chemistry. All thoughts dissolve while I evolve as I am witnessing, manifested from the axons of synaptic echoes. The syntax of a redacted Arius crashes through the threshold. I am the last bastion, a lantern can flag with a tenfold. A flash of azure cracks in the hands of a hero phantom's electrodes as gossamer threads string the sky. Its vibrations bled 1,000 dimensions wide, plucked by fingers manifest. Escher riff comprise a tone that sent ohms adrift. The sound that dins its ripples infinitize. A blip of life in a void darkened rift of eyes. A trip arise from a sigil's glint, a civil flint to wisp mysticize. His tense disguise and skin of a mist flits. A light drifts in flight, his glyphs are bright as he shifts from the dim into light. His image thins, he's gripped within as the vision of his spirit dies.
Check. Verbalize pedantic speech, cast a spell and enchantress seeks. Take this time to plant the seeds, even though I plan to leave. Even brandish keys, dipping down south like Canada geese. The savage preach while the earth's dying and they're glad it weeps. I'm salty, so I have to eat bland MCs. Make connections despite a general lack of manganese. My flow specific, fall by Atlantic breeze. You buckle in a pair of slanted knees. Granted, they wave gigantic fees. Outlandish beats, heads bounce around, look like frantic fleas. All across the sand and leaves, from high up on the Mongolia mountains down to an Icelandic beach. Reach 99.9% of the galactic peak. The massive breach, stand and breathe. Climax as my lines stack, get stuffed, I rush my raps in a tantric sneeze. Poison the cell that cancer eats, a strand of disease that spreads to the hands and feet. When you're on the tail end of it, like a manatee. Go to the light with the will of an ant that sees. Drumming up generational wealth, subject to a sadistic den of dynastic thieves.
The decision a time of peace and harmony is conducive to advancement and prosperity. As in spring, all things work together to bring about robust growth. When the wise and enlightened are in control, even evil forces fall under their influence and are able to make improvements. It is this harmonious relationship with even the forces of nature that produces great abundance, prosperity, and success. Men's passions are ameliorated in such times, and their attention is turned toward worthy objectives. All that is inferior is pushed into the background, and the superior, taking advantage of the harmonious times, are able to operate freely. This produces a time of good fortune and progress.
Fuck it, there's nothing here for me. Lost in arcade purgatory hell. Couple minutes, couple years, no clocks in here working mirrors. Animosity in my veins. Good kid became bloodstained. Stray Lewis lost in nightmare cyberspace. The ghosts of abandoned kids. Could have been a lot worse. My lower timeline scares me that it even exists. Fuck all them bitch Sith lords. Forgot how it feels being stabbed with a real sword. For they perish, see the real phone. The balls are crown of ice from my hell. A hidden layer they call us rebels. Plus the common folk of the Shinigami realm. Identify and check they spec. Saying nothing to wreck. Like years away they get sent. I got freed from a slab of cement. Damn, they flipped horizontally, I'm ungodly bent. I lost control of my chakra as you set. Turning on sort of man, this whole arc to repent. Fall word to God with this cursed scar on my neck.
I radiate illumines and get obscure like Kyoto Cutis. Creating beautiful pain shaded with fluid movements. Preservation pure as multiplication to Cuba Rubik's. I'm super smooth, my mood is as soothing as therapeutics. Bitches lose a swooning from revolutions around the sun. Like every human that you knew were excluded, you found the one. Seducing music even if you don't choose it, it's bound to come. So now it's known to those I'm bad to the bone like no calcium. That's how it's done from the depths of Kahana recipe drama. There's nothing that's impressing at best unless it be honor. When things go left, you get stretched, flex if you wanna. People I eat, I leave with more drama than Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm a demented, ill-tempered, schizophrenic psycho. Getting rid of the weight like a nigga invented lipo. They ain't pure as the driven white snow, bro, it's type low. I keep bombing the underground like a missile silo.
Applying the pressure when the wound as you die on the stretcher. There's not a tape in the wall wide enough for the mics that I measure. Would be nice to be raised by the mind for the pleasure. Or if you bombarded you with science and treasures, dropped invaluable legends. Say hi to the unlikely professor, timeless event. I'm a pig in the form of a ghoul that only your child will remember. The alchemical storm parts vent from the heat. There's elements mingle in gel inside the placenta. Give birth to liquid that smells. Imbibe once in the mind and refresh it now. Forever transform transforming into a light in the weather. With full fun on your lead, the wish is coming alive in a second. Stretch the limits like when the stomach is pregnant. Listen close as I provide you with lessons from shadows and whispers. I appear out of nowhere, drop signs and I find me an exit. Carrying school and teacher, classes in session, hitting you with temptation to challenge your ethics. Study these words.
Blaze flash, euthanasia naps or prolapse here. Omega caps and absolute taps in the Polaris raptures. A Lanternz, a soul expansion, expand, exhale incognito flares. They throw chakras, vibe, Trojan max of magnetosphere. Cryptochrome, giant octopus, solar resonic. Guyver, exomorph, north, later Draco be swapping cognizant. Gazillion-dollar hierophant, cycle the conslaying the Vikings and the Mercury scepter, making his beside the trade and items playing drum. Chunky airlags, gems in my socks, hematite and knife feathers, bare bushes be bomber class smock. Sucker bird, southern north, I'm a fucking pro-fast. The thousands of middle with small time vicinities. God, be sure to check out the YouTube channel. Privacy, ex-private detective, Yomi Yosunaga, pranayama, introspective, invisible sight of rivet out the eye of Ra Amon. Hyperbarian object, flash traveler, passive, elder baron.
Lantern acolyte who speaks languages, galaxies ahead of you. Someone who won't tell it to you like he's feeding you with spoons. The blast that I've been feeling gravity like Obani Gemini's moons. If you wanna beef with me, you gotta get through 17 waves of goons. My Omni wrench deals more damage than your fucking assault rifle with flame abilities I gain experience with each kill. Motherfucker, you're nothing, I tower over you like Eiffel. Most these humans think they got their own free will. Yo, understand my cipher before you come in and try to test me. These riddles like private verses I wrote while I was sleeping. Grit stay rugged and hack blood while he's weeping. No comfort in this life, this shit's got me thinking. G-R-I-T-T, two T's like your girl's chest. Grip them with both hands and you notice less stress. The mask told me to do it and it'll tell you all to understand my lifetime before the mask comes for you.
Possessed by the Yakuza hitman, trapped in my mask for a mega. First to put my sword off the last to laugh. Raise your glass, toast to all the villains counting cash. Tip the gation with the blue Lanternz logo tatted on my ass. Polishing my doors, cleaning blood off my soy cloths. The way I tear whack 'em sees apart is a work of art. Finger fuck the gap like I finger fuck a cootie cat. Blast my way up guns in both hands like I China fat. Crouching tiger, hidden dragon, ninja slanging in the trap. Package with some light bricks and smuggle it across the map. Master of the low hand palm, we're off the rain on. Blue Lanterns in the cold on, taking the world on. Rolling with the gang and yokais, Onis and kaijus. High off that opium smoke, drunk off that witch brew. High that heated is the price of 80. Ain't no way I like the big cheese. Always keeps his eyes on the next heist.
From darkness emerged, their familiar foe is seen. Burned by the incantations inscribed in my poetry. A warrior of light with a sword and a blue lantern. Decapitating devils sworn to halt the cruise landing for essential intrusion. We present the solution to shatter illusion caused by mental pollution. Any blast ceiling, yo, that shit's about to break. Taking routes of possibility to interstellar space.
Perpetual nightfall, I scour abysses of glitches. An infinite light storm lit that Sumerian wisps exhibit. I scribe forth a spiral centripetals inward, an intrinsic light source that don't reflect off the numberless mirror. A vibrant imprint, impressions of vacant oculi, a surface and visions, and embrace that lambent arms provide as walls adrifted. Hearts that bliss off, souls aglow in a grove of fissures, aloft in a Stygian hold of votive sigils. Explosions missing a pulse of visuals, riffs unsown, ripped from the glints of our horticultured ritual. Fiber optic hydroplane, a mindless way I drift the rem. Vorpalized in gyroscapes, vital caged I shift within. A grip that stings, violet glaze with 7 limbs. With eyes ablaze, a gaze of riot grace, divine rays of blinding flames combined with a fading nation sky with rains of fire, precipitated waves of light embraced by the panoptic gaze of hatred's eye.
Yakuza.
Supreme, 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 supreme.